Hey everyone, it's Ignignot. So I wanted to go ahead and show off something I've been working on. It's been many weeks now, and I'm sorry for the delay. Me getting sick before also didn't help, but here it is. So before we get into that, I want to show you where it started. So this is the first version that I worked on, and as you can see, the measurements were a bit wrong. I had to shave it down with sandpaper, which took forever. Uh, yeah, but essentially the idea was that you had a hinge system, and once inside, you would be able to have a three-prong switch that would enable you to switch basically between Dpad and joystick support for a video game. So sometimes you'll have a game that the control stick here will not be able to be read as a D-pad. The game will only work as a joystick. So being able to go ahead and switch with something like this was important to me. There were games in my collection that I literally could not play as it only had joystick support and it wasn't registering that D-pad. So I began this. This was all well and good, but we had to go ahead and make the lid here very thick in order to accommodate this hinge system, which I thought would be really cool. The hinge was difficult to do. Long story short, the pin of the hinge was made with a long piece, like a rod of PLA that was pushed in through the holes of each one of these ridges here, and then lighter melted on either end, and it makes a nice hinge. I wanted this to be covered potentially, and long story short, because of this thickness, my hand would hit, my pinky finger would hit while I was playing, and this lip here was rather uncomfortable because it's a right angle, and it just wasn't doing me well. So I moved on. I realized that the hinge-based system was not ideal. I also wanted to go ahead and make sure that this was tapered so it didn't hit my finger with an uncomfortable edge. So this is the end result. And let me show you the back side to give you some perspective as to what we're looking at here. So if I pull this back, I designed this so that it would have this nut here. So akin to the nuts that you would see here on these crown buttons. When these tighten, the button stays in place. Well, same idea here. So designed a thread system. You plug in the three wires. The three wires feed to the Brook adapter and to the appropriate port for the D-pad and joystick setup. And so now, I'll show you the other end. Take this off. There is no hinge system anymore because in order to make it thin, there's no room for a hinge. But frankly, I'm not in here all the time. That's something I really didn't estimate when thinking up the first version, is that realistically I'm not doing this all the time, right? So it's not really important. But as you can see, the two lines is one, the one line is another. And I believe that is D-pad and that is joystick. But yeah, so that'll be a D-pad. So when I hit this here, that'll be D-pad. And when I do that, it'll instantly be registered as a joystick. So there you have it. Now this is very thin and tapered. Snaps on like so. And yeah. So what I'm playing now, I don't have this uncomfortable lip. This here was coming over quite a bit. So it was around here where this line was here. And it was just in far enough that I was doing this, it would hit just ever so, and it'd be uncomfortable. So I can have my finger over here if I'm really into it, but typically this is like resting here, like so, and yeah, works perfectly. So I do have the STL file if other people are interested in the mod like this. If you are currently not using the 7th buttonhole for games, which I'd imagine most people would not be, let me know. And you can actually put this thing to work and have it serve some sort of function. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't really play a lot of 8-button games, so drilling this out and putting this poor panel through that didn't really sit well with me. This is an original panel after all, and if I want more buttons, I have things like this that replace the Bandai port. So it didn't really seem like a good idea to go drilling into this and risk putting this original panel and overlay at risk. So there you have it. That to that. Let me know what you think. If you like it again, I will probably, you know what? I'll go ahead and put a link to my Discord. And if anyone needs the STL file, I can provide it there. So once again, thanks again. Ignignot out.